Hey, happy whatever day you hear this. So, for this past week, it was at April 15th. Let me see. Yeah, so for April 15th, I completely forgot to record a episode. And what's crazy is I actually recorded an episode for April 22nd. And then Monday came around, I was like, oh, there isn't anything. And honestly, these last 2 weeks have just been really, really busy for me. And I just didn't realize, you know, I can be here all day and it don't be not one noise. But as soon as I turn on the microphone, every car has a loud motor. Like, every car has a loud motor. Um, that is wild to me. Anyways, it's little stuff like that that just really irritate me in life. Like when I'm like trying to like really be productive and be proactive, it's like little minute things that I have no control over that really irritate me like that. Anyways, yeah, so I had completely forgot to do an episode 116 and I had recorded 117 because that's a guest episode, which was really good. I'm really excited because I definitely have ideas to do like a part two and do another like event with that guest. But I was sitting here and I was like, well, I don't want to miss because I really haven't missed episode in a while. And I was like, well, it'll just have to come out later. It could be a shorter episode. And it was just a reminder to myself that, like, you run this. Like, this is your thing. You are a one man team, which I'm going to speak into existence. There is going to be a time where I'm not a one man team and I will have an assistant. I will have a manager. I will have a production team that will have all that will help me with all this. Because your girl is tired of doing everything by herself. Can we talk about that? Okay. I am so tired of doing everything by myself. And it is starting to weigh heavy on me. And I'm just honestly just starting to get irritated because I'm definitely tired of doing everything by myself. I don't mind being by myself and I actually need alone time. But like to be in charge of everything is just getting ridiculous. Like I need help. 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 Okay. So I'm definitely just in the space. So that's why I said happy whenever you hear this, listen to this. I am currently recording on Wednesday at 9:40 p.m. and I just got done working out. So if you see the video, you get what I give you. Okay. So, anyways, we're still gonna do an icebreaker, but I just wanted to come out here and just kind of let you know today's gonna going to be a shorter episode, and it's really just gonna be a check-in with grief. The 17th year of my dad just passed. I am going to turn in my equipment to a job that I just left tomorrow. So I'll be turning my equipment tomorrow. I resigned 2.5 weeks ago. And so we're going to talk about that, grief, and all that. And then honestly, just do a check in on me as a person. What's going on? I think I talk a lot about grief. I think I talk a lot about self love and self advocacy. And I do a lot for the community. And just, I'm always proactive. But like, we are going to check in with how I am doing. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the icebreaker. All right, welcome to episode 116's Icebreaker. Okay, so I've got three cards we picked from the Self Care Empowerment deck of cards and the Super Attractor deck of cards by Gabrielle Bernstein. Okay, so let's start with the Self Care Empowerment, which is, can I control the situation that's making me stressed? If it's out of my hands, it deserves freedom from my mind too. Hmm. What is stressing me right now was a job that I let go. So after tomorrow, I won't have to deal with that situation anymore. But what will stress me is my finances and just having other opportunities, trying to level up and things of that nature. Um, yeah, that is Yeah, that is bothering me, but also too, like, I think it goes back to what I said at the beginning of last year when, like, I was looking for jobs, like, I can't force anybody to hire me. Also too, like, I feel like I'm being challenged to not settle and to not, just accept anything that's thrown at me, and also to it even if it starts out good, if it turns out bad, am I willing to walk away? And so I think in that situation, like, a lot of what is stressing me, I have no control over. Finances, people hiring me, um, even business. Business, I feel in this season, I'm definitely more motivated to like do the things I need to do. I feel like um I got disappointed because like there were a lot of people who said they were going to help me and a lot of people overpromise and underserve. And when I have the conversation, it's always like, oh, I just don't have the capacity. And I just wish that I just didn't work with so many people who just don't have the capacity. Um, and we can go as far as like publishers, friends, contractors, even guys who have tried to date me. Like we can go as far as that. And And I froze in time because I'm like, part of that is, a lot of times they say you attract what you are. And I've never been one to actually believe that. But at some point, if I'm seeing the same people just in different bodies, that means that there's still a lesson to be learned. That means that there's something that I'm not grasping to. That also means that there's something that like I need to accomplish to move forward. And, while I don't think I'm that type of person, I mean, I don't know actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I think I used to be. I definitely used to be that person that would just accept things and just do it, and I had no capacity, but I would still show up. And I think that's a major difference between myself and a lot of the folks that I'm dealing with. But my issue is communication with people. Like, I just want people to communicate. Like, if you sign on to a project and you realize, like, oh, I really don't have the capacity for this, I would rather you just tell me versus like just not doing it because I'm depending on you. And that's frustrating. Some of these folks have gotten paid and yeah. So I think my biggest issue is with people and communication. Definitely ghosting is a big stressor of mine because like why do people keep ghosting me? And quite a few friends, frenemies, um, people I've reconciled with have like said their perception is that I expect myself out of other people. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I could definitely see how it can be perceived. But I don't necessarily agree that that is what I'm dealing with. But I do just want communication. Like, even if, like, my friend is in a new relationship and just doesn't have time for me, like, I would prefer them to just be like, hey, like, my life has taken a shift. Like, there is no beef, but I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Or, hey, like, I got involved with this organization and it's taking a lot more time. Hey, I got this new job. It's really stressful. I can handle the truth. I just can't handle the ghosting. And unfortunately, that's just nothing I have control over. And it's nothing that I can do. And I do hope that eventually one day I just get over it. But in this season, it kind of sucks. And so I think I'm just learning that I just don't have control of that. And you can't take anything personal. Does it hurt? Of course. But at the end of the day, like, what can I really do? Um, the second card is from Super Attractor. It says, I release time and let the universe show me what to do. I feel like I'm in that season right now. I know I've done everything I can. I know I'm changing. I know I'm shifting. I know I'm evolving. And a part of letting go of that control is, hey, God, show me what you going to do. Hey, universe, this is your world. I'm literally just in it. Um, Recently I had a conversation with somebody that I reconciled with, and I was like, I'm just in a place where I really just accept people for face value, and I really just accept people for where we're at in life. Like, even if they ghost me, okay, cool. I know I didn't do nothing to you. I've had a couple friends tell me like, "Oh, you seem distant." I'm like, I'm actually not distant. I'm just not planning anything anymore. I'm just not the friend that is coordinating and planning and doing all this. Like, I'm just really seeing my place in people's life. Like, when I'm not intentional about being your friend, we really don't talk. So, is this a one sided relationship? Have I outgrown most of the people in my life? Have we outgrown each other? And this is no shade to say that I'm better than them, they're better than me. It really is like, I constantly talk about how we take shifts in life and how we evolve and how we do all this other stuff. And honestly, I feel like now I'm practicing what I preach, because I think a lot of the people in my life, we really have just grown apart. We really have just really figured out that, like, yeah, we're moving in different directions, and having to be okay with that. And so I think that goes with the first card. Like, if I can't control it, then I just got to learn to live with it. And the third card: the universe is always conspiring to support me, guide me, and lead me compassionately towards the highest good. I really picked this card because it has a red cardinal on it, and there are like two or three red cardinals, and I forgot, it's a different type of cardinal. They're like outside my house, and like every morning they like just chirp, and anytime I'm outside I just hear them. And then at my building, which is where I'm recording at, there's like two cardinals around here, and I noticed that everywhere I go now I just see cardinals. And if you follow my story, like, I've dealt a lot with grief, and so I think that has a lot to do. Like, I think like the spiritual connection is just there. So I was really drawn to that card. But I forgot what it says. Let me read it again. The universe is always conspiring to support me, guide me, and lead me compassionately towards the highest good. I really like the emphasis on compassionately. Um, because I do think God loves me and supports me and guides me. I do think like God does not play about me. Um, the wording in this card is very specific. Like, the universe is always conspiring. Like, when we think of conspire, we don't think of it in a positive way, but the universe is purposely making plans to support me and guide me and lead me compassionately. Compassionately. So, like, God has compassion for me to get to my calling. And I think that's beautiful. And I think I need to hear that. And I think that is a constant reminder of, hey, like, you don't have to do all this by yourself. Like, what you're going through in life is normal. It's part of the human experience. It's part of your story. It's part of what you need. It's part of all of that. And so I think that's just a really cool reminder. I think a lot of this is just reconnecting to myself, reconnecting to God, reconnecting to the earth, realizing how small we actually are in this world, and realizing like the world really doesn't revolve around me, as much as that sucks, but it's the truth. And I really don't have control in this world. And so I think like becoming okay with that, I think being a person who used to focus my sole purpose on other people, how I please them, trying to prove myself. I was doing something today, and what was I doing today? Well, I was buying gifts for my supervisors because I'm going to see them tomorrow for the last time, essentially. And I was like overthinking this gift. And I was like, I have a budget. I don't want to go over it because life is so expensive right now. And also, too, like, this last 2 weeks, I've been like getting all of my caseloads, my students, I've been getting them all gifts. I've been getting all the counselors and social workers I worked with, I've been getting them gifts. And just like farewell gifts, thank you gifts, appreciation, gratitude gifts. I gave out like coffee mugs, journals, and then like I got these cute little, they're like keychains, animals, and cards from Amazon. They were so cute and cheap and affordable, and people really appreciate them. And a lot of people like, oh, like we should have been getting you gifts. You didn't have to get us gifts and blah, 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 blah. And so like today I'm at Five Below and I'm looking for these gifts and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get them double this and this. And basically I was like looking for cups and journals to give them. And I'm like, oh, I can get them this, 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 and this. And like had to stop in the middle of the aisle and was just like, pick a cup, pick a journal, pick an office supply, put it in a bag, and let's go. Like, you are overthinking something. You do not have to do this. Doing this doesn't make you the best person, doesn't make you the worst person. It really is just a sign of gratitude. You're doing it out of the soul of, I was gonna say the soul of your heart, but you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. So just remember that, like, you do not have to constantly prove yourself. And coming out of a person who has always tried to prove myself. Even in like a recent situation, like in a recent dating situation, like realizing that um I had to like step back from how I reacted to somebody because like I feel like for so long I was just trying to prove myself. And like he would even tell you like you don't have anything to prove to me. Like like you're you and that's what it is. And like having to like get that instilled in my brain and being like, I don't know who taught me that I had to like show up and show out every time, but like having to unlearn that. And I think it's easy. Like, I think it's easy to say, just love yourself, just take care of yourself. But no, like when you're actually unlearning like the shit I've been doing, like it ain't as easy as just love yourself because I can still love myself and still fuck up. Like, let's be completely honest. Um, but yeah, like I have had to unlearn myself, like, even as simple as, like, if someone doesn't text me, like, if we text every day and I don't get a text message, "Oh, they really not talking to me." You've been asleep all day. What makes you think they not asleep all day? You work multiple jobs. What makes you think they don't have, also, too, they don't have to talk to you all day. Like, you have to stop feeling abandoned. Like, obviously, there are some abandonment issues going on with me for a lot of different reasons, but also, too, like, everybody isn't out to hurt you, and you have to learn that. And so, like, there's been a lot of unlearning and sitting with myself, like, oh, okay, like, and this all started because I got into like a really, really bad argument, probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it really just like triggered something in me. It really just changed something in me. And I knew in that moment that like my mindset was going to shift. Like I remember crying, like legit crying and being like, this is not it. Like I cannot do this anymore for anybody. Um and ever since then there has been a shift and people have noticed the shift. And I think like in the last couple years I've been saying that like people can notice I'm slowly shifting and changing and I think that that has all been true. I think now my actions are definitely speaking louder than my words. And I think people are definitely noticing. I also do feel like a lot of people are just growing. Life is expensive. People falling in love, people getting married, people starting their families, people growing their families. I talk a lot on this podcast about like just being a single woman and how most of my friends are married, have kids, in relationships. So like they and I'm constantly sacrificing like my time for like my friends, but I don't really feel like they sacrifice their time for me. Um and so like even in that like I was having a conversation with a friend who she's married, has a couple kids and like for a long time she's really really tried to just be there. But like I've been like she was like, "You just been distant." And I'm like, "I'm not distant. I just know that you are trying to better your marriage. You're trying to be a better mother. You've gotten a lot more active in different activities and groups." And honestly, what frustrated me most was like, we had a conversation where she would say she would get upset about people not answering her text messages and phone calls, or she would send TikToks. But then, like, if we text her, she goes weeks without texting us back. Or like if we plan something in advance, she always bails out. And so I just told her, like, I'm just really tired of planning stuff and things get canceled. I'm really tired of reaching out and just not getting a response. I'm not saying you have to respond every time, but like at some point I just get tired. And if you're not communicating with me, I don't know how to support you. I can't watch your TikToks every day. Like some of the stuff that I ask, I'm like, well, I'm not, like, you're terrible at answering the phone and answering text messages, but like let's be honest, like you don't answer mine. Like you take days on days, by the time you end up responding, I forgot about the conversation. Um, but then you're upset when people, I don't want to deal with that. Like, and I just end up telling her, like, I think you should find married friends and mother friends. I don't, and I'm not saying like single people and people in relationships can't be friends. Like I'm not saying that at all. But I do think at some point when you see a shift in a friendship, try to find different friends. Try to find different friend groups. Try to find people that fit your lifestyle more. I'm in a season where I'm very selfish. To all my married friends and friends in relationships, I love y'all. I love that y'all found love. But I have been third wheeling, four wheeling, five wheeling with y'all for years. I'm tired. Sometimes I just want my friends to hang out with. Sometimes I don't want to be around your kids. I don't want to hear CT Lisa all the time. Like I just don't. I don't want to be around your kids. I work with kids. I'm tired. Like I don't want to be around your kids all day, every day, or every time we hang out. Sometimes I don't want to be around your husband. Like sometimes I want to talk. And don't get me wrong. Like my friends and their husbands and their boyfriends are really supportive of me and really, take very well to me. But sometimes I just want my friend. And if you cannot give that to me, I completely understand. Um, and there's no hard feelings. But I'm just in the season where, like, someone told me this the other day when a person I reconciled with, and they were just like, I don't think you're distant, or I don't even think you change. I think you're just in a place where you really just want people to love you and respect you the way that you've done all of us. And I was shocked because me and this person got into it, honey. Like, I'm surprised we even cool, to be honest with you. We both said some really messed up stuff to each other in the heat of the moment. And I was like, who is this? Who are you talking to? um, but yeah, I think that's just what I've been dealing with. Like I said, like just really finding my place in life and really finding out where I'm at. I do have like this newer friend group that I've been hanging out with that I've had a really good time with, and I really, really like hanging out with them. Um, so yeah, I think it's just a lot. Like I realize it's been the 17th year of my dad being gone, and so like just wondering like who would he have been? What would my love life have looked like? What would life be like with my dad? Like how would he have evolved? I was 15 when he died, so excuse me. I was 15 when he died, so, like, I don't know that I knew him as a person. Like, I knew him as my dad, but I don't know that I knew him as a person, and I remember things, but, like, who would he have been at, I would love to have conversations like this with my dad, and maybe that's why I do the podcast. Like, maybe this is my outlet and my release to, like, talk to my parents because 'cause I'll never be able to talk to them again, you know? Um But I just thinking about that and just thinking about, like, I wonder how my love life would look if my dad was around. My friendships, how would that look? Like, would I have parents that would be like, "Mm-mm, that's not it." Like, or yeah, like we love this person. Or I remember my parents just loving everybody. So like, would that be the case? Yeah. So that's kind of like been my reflection in grief recently. Um, Also too, like just thinking about just thinking about where I'm at in life. Like I said, I just resigned from a job. Tomorrow I'm turning in my equipment. And what I learned from this job was like systems really suck. And I knew that, but like constantly being reminded that like I am in such a shitty position because of systems that I have no control over. And sometimes realizing that we just can't win against these systems and being okay with that. And I've seen a lot of people that's like, this is a system, that's how it is. I'm gonna keep fighting against it, but also too, like I'm ready for the next set of people to fight. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, okay, like, and so it's really different. And I think it goes back to like not having to prove myself, not having to um yeah, not having to prove myself. And I think like that's kind of where I'm at in grief. Like I feel like I think I've grieved a lot outside of death because I've constantly have been validated by like what I've done for people, and I've never wanted anybody to feel the way I felt. So like I overextend myself and I give and I love. And now that I'm kind of in this place where like, regardless if you love me or not, like I'm still gonna be me, but that comes with boundaries now. Regardless of how you perceive me. Like I remember having a conversation with somebody, and the conversation was simply like two things can exist at the same time. Like I can be extremely happy for you, but I can also feel like I was left out. And if we love each other and we're adult enough, like we should be able to talk about it. But the conversation did not go well. And my approach probably was very dramatic because that is who I am, but also too like I'm going to say like I have to stop negating how I feel. I have to stop. I remember asking a friend like, "Hey, like, are we good?" Because I saw that it was getting distant, and she really didn't want to have the conversation, which is fine. Like, she just was like, "We all got something going on," and like later on, the conversation was pretty much like I just didn't want to have that conversation at the time, which is fine. But also too, like I'm not negating how I feel anymore. So like you may not want to have a conversation, but I'm definitely gonna tell you like I feel like the friendship is dying. Like I feel like the friendship is going away. And if you want it to naturally go away, that's fine. But like I don't want to be quiet no more. I've been quiet about myself for so long. Like I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah. So it's kind of where I'm at in grief. I've had a dream about my mom. Like I had a dream about my mom. We were somewhere. I don't even remember where we were at. But like I think it was like a barbecue. And she was there and we was just talking. And I was like, Mom, for my 33rd birthday, which I turned 33 in October, Mom, for my 33rd birthday, do you want to go to California? And like, I woke up just chuckling because when she died, my first solo trip was to California. And so I was literally thinking about like what I wanted to do for my 33rd birthday. And I was like, maybe I just need to go to California. Um, but yeah, I've really been missing my parents lately. I just like I just miss having them, and I miss being a child around my parents. Like I look at other people and I see like how their parents still take care of them. I see how their parents are so active with them even if they're adults, and I'm like I just really miss that. Um in this season I really am by myself, and I've been by myself for a long time, and just really tired, but also too I just don't have the capacity for a lot of things. Like sometimes talking to people comes with a lot. And I really just I don't have the capacity to continue to take on negative things. Um and that's like even with some of my family members, like I love talking to them. I love having the relationship that we have. But like if every time I talk to you complaining and their excuse is always like, well, I don't really have anybody to vent to. Nobody lets me talk. Nobody lets you talk because every time you talk it's something negative or something that you have to want to fix and you don't want to, and you have options, and nobody wants to sit here and listen to everything that's wrong in your life every single day. It gets tiring. And also too, like I'm not a phone person. And so like when I'm sacrificing to talk on the phone with you and it's always so negative, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Also, side note, I'm looking in this camera and I can definitely tell I've been working out because my face is definitely smaller than what it has been. I still got a double chin, but like the structure of my face is definitely like coming in. Which is funny because my stomach, I feel like my stomach is getting wider, but like my back is getting smaller, my face is getting smaller. But I feel like I'm about to look like not a lollipop, but I don't know what I would look like honestly. Like a marshmallow with like a toothpick in the middle, maybe. Okay, that was random. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I want to be intentional with myself as well as be intentional with the relationships that mean something to me, but I also just don't want any more one-sided relationships. Also, too, I don't want to have to keep proving myself because I don't have to. So that is my check-in with grief. Like I miss my parents. I'm grieving. Oh, I'm gonna say one last thing. One of the things that I am grieving is like I used to know what I wanted to do in my life, like, and then I did it. Like, I own a community center. What's a community office? Hopefully one day I own a community center. But like when people ask, like when I quit the job, what are you gonna do now? I'm like, probably go back to my business. I mean, I never left my business, but I probably just have to figure out how to do that full time again. I'm still applying. I haven't got any response back from any resume that I've sent out. Any job application I've sent out. Um, but I really just don't know what I want to do anymore. And I used to be a person that just knew it, and I just don't. And so, like, that's kind of been different for me. It's kind of been like, I'm kind of just looking at job descriptions, see if I like it. Apply. I definitely know I do not want to do direct services no more. I am ready for the next set of direct service workers to come on in because I don't want it. I don't want to do it. I don't want it. I don't want to be in my car all day. I don't want to travel, honey. No, I need peace of mind. I need sleep. I can't. I don't process that way. So yeah, it's been interesting, y'all. And so I hope that this episode is just an update and check in with you. I've been wanting to do one of these anyway because like I've just been having a lot of feelings and emotions, and I just um I just want to have this conversation with myself, with you all that. So that is episode 116. I really don't have an affirmation. Yeah, I really don't have an affirmation, but what I will say is be who you are and love you. Do whatever works for you. I think like that's been one of my biggest lessons. Whatever you want to do it and stand in it. And don't let this society or anybody else take you from that. Do what you got to do and stand on that. Do what you got to do and stand on that. That's our affirmation. I'm going to do what I got to do and I'm standing on that. Oh, yes, that is the affirmation. I'm going to do what I got to do and I'm standing on that. So say this from now and for the rest of your life. Like, all right, y'all. I love you, but love you the way you love the world. And I will catch you all on Monday for episode 117.